Good afternoon. You're watching Businessworld Live. I'm Jes Delos Santos. Let's take a look at how the local bourse closed today, Wednesday. Okay, a bit of correction there. It's Thursday, actually. Well, the streak has been blemished today for the index as shares plummet for the first time in 4 days. The PSEI today fell 0.6% to 6,547 as inflation cooled in July, as largely expected at 4%, the lowest clip yet this year. But really, leading declines among counters today is a property space slumping 2.6% ahead of the imposition of the enhanced community quarantine tomorrow in Metro Manila. A quick look at our leaders and laggards here. You'd see Ayala Land, Mega World, and SM Prime all ending the day in the negative territory. The capital's return to ECQ, of course, will lead to closure of non-essential stores and businesses, not just inside malls. In fact, I'll add to that as well. Only authorized persons outside residences will be allowed out of their homes starting August 6th until the 20th. Looking at our performance as well, retailer Robinson's Retail, also the worst performer, slipping 4.2% after reporting a muted gain in attributable net income at 724 million pesos. On the other end of the spectrum, telcos making some headway here. Globe and PLDT increasing, at least Globe increasing by 2.98%, not far behind is PLDT. The telco giant reported a net income of 12.92 billion pesos for the first half of the year. That's a 5.2% increase from last year, with revenue also increasing by 10% to 95.6 billion pesos. Telco core income likewise increasing by as much in the first semester to 15.2 billion pesos. What's notable here is that PLDT has seen a marked rise in 2021 service revenue. We're talking a record jump here of 9% to 45 billion pesos in the second quarter alone, pushing total for the first semester to 89.9 billion pesos. That was bolstered by data and broadband services. EBITDA both for the April to June period and the first half of the year also up by 8%. Home also posted a 23% revenue increase to 22.7 billion pesos, while wireless for the first half also registered a 7% increase to 43.8 billion pesos. PLDT Chairman Manny Pangilinan said that while they still see the economic impact of the pandemic, they're still confident that they will see overall revenue growth this 2021. In the end, he says they're on track to hit their telco core income target of 30 billion pesos for the year. Right after announcing those positive figures, PLDT shares, as you can see in this chart right here, got bought right away, ending the day with a 2% increase to 1,274 a share. And lastly, let's take a look at the peso experiencing its worst slump yet since 2013. That's over speculations that the BSP will cut reserve requirement ratio for banks. Recall that the BSP said that a reduction in RRR is on the table. It's been the central bank's goal to bring it to single digits and transition to market-based instruments to manage money supply. RRR is currently at 12%, one of the highest in Southeast Asia. The peso today jumped as much as 1.2%. Currently, it's weakening by 0.9%, still at 50 spot 222, the greenback. Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. Chaos ensued in several vaccination areas in Metro Manila a day before the enhanced community quarantine takes effect in the region. Residents in Las Piñas hoping to get vaccinated flocked at least 2 inoculation sites, overwhelming organizers and volunteers. Similar instances were reported in Manila and Antipolo. Malacanang denies rumors that only vaccinated people will be allowed to go out for essential activities and work. The Interior Department also denied that only vaccinated people will receive cash assistance. The palace urged the public and LGUs to put systems in place so vaccination activities won't become super spreader events. Palace spokesman Harry Roque says 10 million Filipinos are now fully vaccinated. Vaccinations will continue even under the ECQ period. Meanwhile, the Labor Department says 4 billion pesos have been allotted for displaced workers during the ECQ period. DOLE estimates around 5,300 workers that will be affected by the lockdown in NCR, with nearly 200 firms reducing their staff or temporary closing during the period. Now, over in food retail, companies are considering price hikes in light of expected supply chain disruptions and increased import costs. The Philippine Chamber of Food Manufacturers said the industry is already dealing with additional costs from importing raw materials amid delays in the supply chain. Logistics problems have been a constant pain point for business groups in recent months. The group now wants the government to address high shipping charges to help lower expenses being shouldered by manufacturers. We're just hours away from the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine in Metro Manila. Is the agriculture sector ready to meet the demand for food during the 2-week lockdown? Let's get answers from Assistant Secretary Noel Reyes of the Agriculture Department. Good afternoon, Asik Reyes.
Good afternoon, Jess, and for viewers. Good afternoon.
Okay, sir. 2-week lockdown until the 20th. How sufficient are at least our current stock of food items like rice and meat products?
Yes, we have enough. As Secretary William Dar assured the public a few days ago, we have enough rice, vegetables, chicken, and fish for the 2-week ECQ here in Metro Manila and other ECQ areas in the country. In fact, he has instructed our DA regional offices to bring in surplus production in Region 1 in Ilocos, Cordillera, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, and Mimaropa and Bicol to transport their excess farm and fishery products, vegetables, particularly to Metro Manila.
How much of a surplus are we talking about here, at least coming from those regions?
About 5 to 10% of their production. And we're looking forward to at least stabilizing the supply here in Metro Manila and prices. But although we've seen spikes in prices because it's off-season for vegetables. But then again, there are other sources of vegetables from other regions of the country, or in Luzon.
So let me clarify that, sir. We're expecting at least over the 2-week ECQ, we're expecting still some spikes here in prices, and in what particular items here?
Yeah, we're looking at the pinakbet vegetables because they're off season, and not on the upland vegetables. They're season right now from Cordillera, and we're also upbeat on rice. The price of rice is stable, and fish, tilapia and galunggong. Tilapia and bangus, not galunggong.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now, sir,
also.
okay, one major concern, of course, would be the flow of goods here. Will there be exemptions and border controls for agricultural products?
Yes, definitely. No exemptions, but they will honor the previous food passes issued to them. If they lost their previous ID passes or food passes, they can again apply online with their respective DA regional offices or concerned DA agencies like Bureau of Animal Industry, Bureau of Plant Industry, or National Meat Inspection Service. So again, it will be easy, Jess. You can have the food passes online.
Mm. Now, will the production activity here of our farmers and fishermen be affected, at least for those in areas under ECQ?
We don't see any say cut down in production as they all it's a season for rice. So again, not for vegetables. Poultry and hog raising continue, and also fish production. So we don't see any halt or postponement of the agri and fishery production. It will go on, Jess.
Okay. Now, of course, a number of our poorest of the poor, of course, coming from the agricultural sector, they will, of course, receive the aid that will be distributed by the national government. But is a DA at least looking at the possibility of handing out additional aid here for our fishermen and farmers?
No, not exactly. But again, we're open to giving the usual technical assistance to our farmers and fishers, especially those affected by floods. So we have quick response plan for that, and also subsidy for the rice farmers. It will be rolled out sometime October to December for those farmers, rice farmers listed under our farmers registry, and then they receive another batch of 5,000 pesos starting October and November. So again, just there will be no additional ayuda for ECQ areas, but what's given by the DSWP. That's clear.
Okay, now of course we also did experience a lot of rains over the past few weeks. Did that in any way at least affect agricultural production?
It has affected slightly. We lost, to our count, the latest will be about 700 million pesos worth of crops, but it's minimal due to flooding.
Okay. Now, given that you're trimming your farm output target for the year to 2% from 2.5% previously, what led to that cut?
Uh, the secretary is just playing safe because of the continued presence of uh, African swine fever and, of course, the pandemic. And we're looking forward to achieving at least, he said, commensurate to our population growth, thereabouts about 2%. But we're happy about, we're looking at 2.5% at most. So again, we're looking at the big contribution from the rice sector, which comprises about half of our uh, uh, production base for the agri growth. So again, we're looking forward to a record harvest of palay this year, no? Over and above the 19.4 million we had last year. So we're looking at 20.4 million metric tons this year, God willing, and weather permitting.
Now, other than palay, are there any other bright spots here that you are looking at for the sector? I mean, because even at 2%, that's going to be an improvement compared to the contraction that you had in 2020.
Yes, corn, vegetables, fisheries, and coconut. We're looking forward to unleashing the potential of the coconut sector now that there's a law that we're implementing, making use of the coconut levy fund. So again, we're upbeat on the coconut sector. And of course, agriculture in the years to come.
Okay, thank you very much for those updates. Again, we have with us on the show Agriculture Assistant Secretary Noel Reyes. Thank you, Asik Reyes.
Thank you, Jess, on behalf of Secretary William Dar, Department of Agriculture. Maraming salamat po. Good afternoon.
And those are the biggest stories this trading day, August 5, 2021. Catch Business World Live again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for the market open and 3:15 p.m. for the market close. I'm Jes Delos Santos and we are One News. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines.